I just saw a man smiling and I was like, what do you have to smile about? Like, unless you have that, like...
One of the things that I find so hard about aging is that you start to feel like your power is waning. Like, even if you didn't feel that you were super powerful in your life up to this point, we as women, we get older and we start to become invisible. Like, we're not hot anymore, so people don't notice us for our hotness.
I think it's really common for us women at midlife to start feeling a bit invisible in the world, like not seen and not heard.
That's funny. Okay, it never will fail to make me kind of chuckle a little bit when I hear these women talk about not being seen or heard. It's such a cliche at this point. But it's at this point in a woman's life when she begins to mature, because the attention starts to dry up. And honestly, it starts to feel a little bit more lonely. These women start to feel more lonely. And it's in that solitude often you might just see some personal growth. You might start doing some reflecting that you might not have done when you were being bombarded with male attention, validation, resources even. And it's at this point when these women will start to mature a little bit.
Ladies,
Ideally.
talking to you, over 45, feel invisible, ignored, kicked to the curb. Happens a lot, doesn't it? Happens to me too.
Okay, ladies, let's chat about this. Have you noticed that on the dating apps that men in their 60s are looking for the younger woman? And they expect that they can get it. Maybe it's because they have money. Maybe it's because they have still a little bit of good looks left. They're all looking for the younger woman. Well, go for it, guys. If you're truly looking for that someone special to spend and enjoy your time with, then you're missing the point. By 60, a woman has gone through menopause. She's figured out her weight change, her skin change. She's figured out her new look. She's embraced her new sexuality that she has back, and she has amazing outlook on life. So guys, I have to say, I think you're missing it. It's right here in front of you, but you think you're looking for something different. But then again, maybe you're not the right match for us. We know ourselves. We know what we want to connect with.
I think it's funny she had to go online to put this message out there. She's talking to men. Like, you can tell she's like trying to get this message to the men who refuse to message her on these dating apps because they're looking for younger women. So she goes online to get this message out to men because the men on the dating apps won't listen.
And maybe you're not ready for that.
I feel like what's hard for me about always being single and just dating right now is that feeling that you're not being chosen by anyone.
Guys in Western Australia, Perth specifically, you guys need to tell me the truth. I was talking to this waitress.
Well, before she goes into this diatribe, what men kind of start to realize in life is that they really need to detach themselves from getting their self-fulfillment from the approval of women. However, I don't believe the same for women. I think they don't have to go through that. They don't get faced with much rejection. So they never really have to figure out a way to detach their self-esteem from male approval, because the male approval is somewhat omnipresent in their lives. But I guess somehow this woman is experiencing it. She looks pretty young, but she's saying not feeling chosen. And she's probably not feeling chosen from the men who she's trying to choose. And that's the way a lot of this stuff goes, isn't it?
I feel like what's hard for me about always being single and just dating right now is that feeling that you're not being chosen by anyone.
Yeah, this is such a initial feeling in life that men feel. And so when women inevitably start to feel that, I guess I shouldn't say inevitably. I guess it would be inevitable if we're talking about the wall, because that is inevitable, but she's pretty young.
In Western Australia, Perth specifically, you guys need to tell me the truth. I was talking to this waitress and then she told me that Perth is a place that is really hard to find love. And I asked her why, and she told me that because in Perth, men have too many choices. There are people from all around the world, and specifically she said that Perth men thinks that they can pull any girl that they want. And that men in Perth would never want to settle, they just want to go from one girl to another.
This is gonna sound corny, but like I'm mesmerized by your beauty, and like that coming from a genuine place is nice. But when you're there and you're being like fidgety, and then you just walk away because you're intimidated, like be a man, step up, and know what's in front of you.
I'm gonna disagree with this.
So is it in a woman's place to tell a man what to do? These women advocate, say, man up, do this, be this man. They seem to want to dictate the terms of what it means to be a man. But the problem is them doing that is putting them in a position that is not ladylike. Know your place. These are women trying to speak of, they're trying to tell men to know their place, trying to tell men what they're supposed to do. But you're a woman. You should not, that's not really your place. That you kind of want to leave that up to men. Let other men motivate and hold other men accountable for what they should be doing. There's plenty of that. But the problem is these women are trying to dictate the terms of manhood. But by doing so, they're actually putting themselves in the wrong position of womanhood. They're not behaving like ladies. So they're telling you how to be a man while simultaneously not behaving like a woman. And that's the problem. And none of them see it, even though it's right in front of them.
This is this conflict
This is
you
what they
wanted.
want.
Okay.
Jenny, I'm going to blow your mind. They're not intimidated by your beauty, as beautiful as you are. They're intimidated because you are a confident ass woman and you are intense, just like me.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I find confident women. There's nothing wrong with a woman who's confident. There's nothing wrong with that. Confidence is not inherently a bad trait. It's what typically might come along with that confidence, which is arrogance. Insufferableness, if that's a word. And so a lot of times what these women will also talk about is they'll say, oh, these men are arrogant, cocky. Well, some of that might be true, I'm sure. Of course, there is that out there. But ironically, they themselves are behaving in an overt, arrogant way, referring to themselves as the shit, often calling themselves the prize, often referring to themselves as like the table. How do you not see you're doing exactly what you then often will sort of say is unattractive in a man? I would say they take it even a step further than a man would. Sure, a man might brag about his accomplishments if he's going on a date with a woman. Oftentimes he might be doing that because he thinks that's what you'll like. But I mean, you listen to the way a lot of these modern women talk, very, very arrogant, man. And that's not an attractive quality in a woman. Some of these women will say how they're so repulsed by cocky men. But a lot of times they end up hovering around that man's cock, don't they? They find that attractive. Maybe sometimes these men go overboard. But cocky arrogance, this is not an attractive quality for a woman. Confidence is fine. That's not a negative trait. But that's not what they're talking about. This is just cope.
Intensity. Men are not intimidated by beauty. I'm sorry. They're intimidated by beauty with a mouth.
This is absurd. Men aren't intimidated by a woman's beauty, so I don't know what this woman is talking about.
Again, a mouth? That's just not, that in and itself is not a positive trait. Like, what the fuck? Of course. No human likes other humans with, like, a mouth. That's annoying.
Started talking to someone else. So I thought, well,
True confidence is peaceful and balanced.
And I was mid-sentence answering him, and he turned and started talking to someone else. So I thought, well, so I excused myself politely, went to a different group. Same thing happened. I was like, well, it can't be them. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not showing up. Maybe I'm not, got my energy in line. But no, I'm pretty visible. I mean, I have blue hair and glasses, and I'm not a wallflower by any stretch of the imagination. So I started to get curious and observed, and every woman over 60, and some of the men, but mostly the women, were completely ignored and invisible. And I mean, actually invisible. People were not seeing them.
Hey, I have a first date with a new boy tonight and a third date with the boy I like this weekend. So I'm kind of excited about all of this activity, and I'll let you know how it goes.
I haven't worn earrings in such a long time. And the other day, I noticed that one of my holes closed up. I'm now really scared that the same is gonna happen to my vagina.
Hinge days have come to an end. It's not because I've met the love of my life and we're gonna go have a shotgun wedding in Vegas. Oh God, no. Do you know that there's kind, fun souls out there who are ready to love and receive love? Because I'm one of them. They're absolutely not on Hinge. But you know who is on Hinge? Everyone's 20-something-year-old sons. Well, no, I had my Mr. 28 adventure last year and that was a wild ride. And I still don't understand why you 20-somethings want an older woman. Is it because you think we're financially and emotionally stable? Because I assure you, we are not. You're getting one or the other. You ain't getting both, okay?
So I just got back from a date, and this man said something to me that gave me the biggest ick of all time. Not about him, but about me. He asked me why I was on Hinge, and I was low-key like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. Like, what am I doing on this app? Like, low-key, it's embarrassing to even have a profile on there. Why am I just like sitting at home and not trying to meet men in the wild? Like, I think I'm gonna delete it like right now.
That gave you the ick? Oh my God.
Hi. Here's my weekend look. Okay, follow up on my date from last night. I looked on Hinge and he unmatched me already. So needless to say, I don't think there's going to be a second date. I basically had to ask him for his number. I honestly thought that we were like vibing. There were a couple like pink flags for me, like he didn't pay the check. He also didn't eat. I ate. He didn't really ask me too much about myself, but he did give me compliments about me and my looks or whatever. He didn't ask out to hang out again, so like that's probably a sign. But we literally talked for 3 hours and I felt like it was actually not going too bad. And he unmatched me. So I just hate like the not knowing. Like, what was it? I just want you to tell me what it was.
You know what I really can't stand about dating at this big age of 39? Look, I'm grown. Like, I'm about to be 40 over the hill grown, right? Why are we still talking about virtue or body count like that matters? Like, I am dating a bunch of divorcees who cheated on their wife, who have multiple children by multiple partners, me included. That's no shade, but let's just illustrate facts. We got kids. They weren't the immaculate conception. Why are y'all acting brand new? We are sifting through the clearance rack.
You know, she brings up age, how she's like 40 years old, but you're acting like you are still in your early 20s. You're acting like a 20-year-old woman. You're acting like a teenager even. This isn't mature behavior. Like the way you're yelling at your phone, even your vernacular. You're not acting like a 40-year-old woman.
A fucking love looking for a partner and you want to talk
Well, you know what, actually. Maybe she is. Maybe she is acting like a modern day 40-year-old woman. Maybe this is exactly how they act. I guess I wouldn't really know, considering I don't date them, but
gotta be demure. She's gotta be mindful. I'm not. I gotta act like I ain't been out here when I
yeah, like this. If I had to like close my eyes and just listen, I would think, oh no, this is a 19-year-old. This is a 20-year-old talking, right?
If y'all don't get the out of here, I'm not doing that shit. I can barely find the time to commit to a fucking date, to agree to a location and show up looking like a presentable human being. If the stars fucking align and put us in the same place,
Actually, oh my God. If I had to close my eyes and just listen, I would think this woman injects testosterone in her butt cheek every Monday.
supposed to hope that that's the statistical anomaly can reoccur enough times for me to justify sleeping with you when I already know that I want to? Do you know how long it's been? I'm sick of this shit. I gotta pretend I'm not a fucking hoe. So fuck it. He's gonna think you're
Disgusting. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Gross. Yuck. That gave me the ick. How about that? All right. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. What does this comment say? No need to fret, ladies. Just remember that you are all strong, independent women that don't need a man. That is right. Well, I don't know about you, but I sure saw a bunch of prizes in that video. I sure saw a bunch of catches. It's a great mystery why so many of them are still single and were not picked, or at least are having such a hard time dating. I don't know. It's a mystery to me.